Hello everybody. So this is going to be video number one in a series of 5 videos that we're going to do on the major scale. After the major scale, there will be 5 videos on the minor scale and the pentatonic scales, the blues scales. So we're going to start today by doing what we call form one or pattern number one of the major scale, and we're going to be doing this in the key of C major. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through first, and I'm going to give you the fret number positions where you're going to play this. Now, again, this is form one of the major scale, so you can use this pattern to play the major scale in any key. You just have to put it in the right position on the fretboard for the key that you want to play in. And I'll kind of go over how that works after I go through the scale form. So we're going to start on the low E at the 5th fret. So again, I'm going to go through all 6 strings and I'll give you the fret numbers first. So low E string, we're playing frets 5, 7, 8. A string, we're playing frets 5, 7, 8. D string, we're playing frets 5, 7, 9. G string, we're playing frets 5, 7. B string, we're playing frets 5, 6, 8. High E string, we're playing frets 5, 7, 8. Now I'm going to go play through that again, and I'm going to give you the note names. So again, we're starting low E string at the 5th fret. So we're playing A, B, C, A string, D, E, F, D string, we're playing G, A, B. G string, we're playing C and D. B string, we're playing E, F, G. High E, we're playing A, B, C. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is go through and play it again, but I'm going to give you the formula for the scale. Everything has a formula when we look at scales and we look at chords, and the formula identifies the type of scale or the type of chord. With enough practice, you'll get to the point where when you see a certain formula, you'll know exactly what it's for, whether it's a scale or a certain type of chord. So the major scale has 7 notes, and the formula is very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 1 is your root note. So since we're in C major right now, C is our root note. Now, you might be wondering, if we're in C major, how come the first note that we played was an A? Well, remember, we're going to have 5 different forms or patterns that go across the fretboard that enable you to play the major scale anywhere you want. Each one of those patterns is going to start on a different one of the notes from that particular scale. Just so happens that form 1 doesn't start on C, it happens to start on A. Form 1, when we look at scales, form 1 always starts on the root note of what we would call the relative minor scale. Relative means that we have a major scale and a minor scale, and they share all the same notes. The difference is the root note. C major, your root note is a C. A minor, your root note is an A. And the other difference is the application and how you would use that particular scale. So I'm going to play through this pattern again, and each note is going to be numbered. Now, again, these aren't fret numbers. This is the formula. So you have a number that corresponds to each note in the scale, regardless of where you're playing it. So again, starting low E at the 5th fret, we're actually starting here on note number 6. And we have 7. Now we have the root note, which is number 1. Now A string, we got note 2, 3, 4. We go down to the D string, we have note 5, 6, 7. G string, we have the root again, so we have number 1. Then we have 2. B string, we have note 3, 4, 5. High E, we have note 6, 7, 1, or root note again. Now, the one thing I do when I teach my students to play scales is initially I'm not focusing on what the note names are. I want them to learn the formula and to know the number positions within that particular scale. And this is what I give all my students. It's a chart for the scale, and I'm going to hold it up here for a bit so everybody can get a screenshot, or however you all want to copy it, so you will have this for reference. Fortunately, I haven't figured out how to do graphics and everything on the screen yet, so we'll do it this way for now. So this is fret 5, fret 6, fret 7, fret 8, and then fret 9. You have one note there. Now, as you can see, it's numbered. So your numbers are 1 through 7. In the major scale formula is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And every major scale has that exact same formula. And form 1 just happens to start on note number 6. When we get to form or pattern number 2, that one actually starts on the root note, which is note number 1. But the benefits of doing it this way, instead of just learning the note names, is, let's say I learned this form 1 really well, and I know, okay, I'm playing key of C major. Let's say I want to play in another key. Well, when I change key, in order to do that, I would have to take that form or that pattern and move it to another position on the fretboard. So having learned all the note names in the key of C major is not going to help me when I go to play in another key, because all the note names are going to change. But the number system, the formula for the major scale will not change. So when I have, this pattern here, and I move it to another part of the fretboard, it's still going to look exactly like that, no matter, where I put that particular formula at, or where I put the pattern at, I should say. So to demonstrate that, when I played in C major, my first 3 notes were frets 5, 7, 8. And so my pinky lands on the root note. So my first note that I'm taking a full step to get to the next note, which means I'm skipping a fret. That's a full step. Then I took a half step, which means I'm going to the very next fret, and that gets me my root note, because I know this is number 1. So if I move the pattern, let's say instead of being between frets 5 and 8, I'm between 10 and 13. So if my first note is at the 10th fret, then I take a full step, get the next note, then a half step, then my pinky now is on note number 1 of my pattern. Note number 1 is the root note. Now all I have to do is figure out what note is this. I'm at the 13th fret on the low E. I happen to know that's an F. So that tells me if I play that exact same pattern in this position, now I'm in the key of F. So that's why I don't focus so much on the note names originally. Yes, you're going to learn the note names, but if that's all I learned up here was the note names, so now I have A, B, C, and then I get down here. Well, A, B, C doesn't do me any good now because all these notes have changed. But if I know the pattern tells me no matter where I go, those first 3 notes on that low E string are note 6, 7, 1. And 1 is the most important. That's my root note to tell me what key I'll be in. And I know that's an F. I'm in F major. So that's really the way that you want to approach all of your scales, is learning that formula, because when that pattern is shifted and moved to another place on the fretboard, the number system doesn't change at all. That stays identical. That repeats no matter what key you are in. What changes are all the note names. The easiest way to learn those new note names is to use the formula. So when I was down here in this other position and I know I'm in the key of F, well, all I need to do is look up the notes for the F major scale, and then I'll learn that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are the notes F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E. Once you learn all the notes to your different scales, the different keys, then that's an easy thing to do. Obviously, that takes practice like anything else. But this I have found to be the most effective way of learning the scales. So this is video number 1 on the major scale, form or pattern number 1. And the next one will be video number 2, where we will get on to form number 2. So thank you very much for watching. Have any questions, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. I will see you all next time.